Today, I want to speak about how great lawyers think and why they are great and why they are so much respected in the profession. So, let us first analyze a section and a rule of the Bombay Police Act and then see how great lawyers have given their inputs and how they have thought about this section. So, Section 33 of the Bombay Police Act 1951 provides that the commissioner and the district magistrate may make, alter, or rescind rules or orders not inconsistent with this act for O. Regulating the conduct of and behavior or action of persons constituting assemblies and procession on or along the street, and prescribing in the case of processions the routes by which the order in which and the times at which the same may pass. Under this rule-making power given under Section 33 of the Bombay Police Act, the Commissioner in Ahmedabad framed the rules, wherein Rule 7 dealt with holding of the public meeting, which provides that no public meeting with or without loudspeaker shall be held on the public street within the jurisdiction of the Commissionerate of the Police, Ahmedabad City, unless necessary permission in writing has been obtained from the officer authorized by the Commissioner of Police. Now, this seems to be a very fair and just provision because holding public processions or public assemblies in a public street would violate the other passengers' right to carry on in the roads. So, in order to curtail that right, the regulations are framed and it provides that no public meeting shall be held without the permission of the officer authorized by the Commissioner of Police. Now let us see how great lawyers would think about this provision. So let us first try to analyze what is the nature of the right to hold a public meeting or to carry out a procession on the public street. Whether it has any relation with a fundamental right or a right which is guaranteed under the Constitution. So Article 19 provides that all citizens shall have the right to freedom of speech and expression, to assemble peaceably and without arms, to form associations or unions. Now, holding public meeting in a public street or carrying out a religious or a non-religious procession on the streets has been considered to be a historical right within India, and we have seen that several processions, religious as well as non-religious processions, have been carried out on the streets on various festivals and occasions. And therefore, this right is a significant right. It is also guaranteed under the Constitution by way of Article 19(1)(a), (b) and (c). The persons holding the public meeting have the freedom of speech and expression. They have the freedom to assemble peaceably without arms and also to form association or union. Now, since holding a public meeting is an assembly of persons, it is a guaranteed right. And therefore, it cannot be curtailed with unreasonable restrictions, as the state can only impose reasonable restrictions, and which are provided under Article 19 Clause 3, which permits the state to impose reasonable restrictions on the exercise of the right conferred under Article 19(1)(b). So therefore, getting the necessary permission before holding the public meeting cannot be said to be unfair or to regulate it in the manner that other citizens' right to pass from the public street are not hampered would not make the said regulation or rule unreasonable. But what great lawyers would then again ask with respect to this provision is that whether the ambit of power conferred on the executive or officer is very large and uncontrolled, whether such power is open to be exercised arbitrarily, whether the restrictions imposed are excessive, whether the procedure and manner of imposition are fair and just, whether there are sufficient safeguards against the misuse of power conferred, and whether there is any right of representation, whether the section and the rules suffer from vagueness, whether the restrictions are narrowly drawn to prevent the supposed evil, and whether they satisfy the touchstone for legislation dealing with basic freedom, namely precision, whether in delegating powers to the executive to impose restrictions, the legislature has provided adequate standards to pass scrutiny by accepted tests, whether the impugned section and rules violate Article 14 as whether they enable the authorities to discriminate between persons without just classification. So, a great constitutional lawyer will argue that Rule 7 confers arbitrary powers on the officer authorized by the Commissioner. The officer can permit or prohibit parades or public meetings or processions in his completely uncontrolled discretion, allowing parades or meetings or processions only with the prior permission of an official. There is an obvious danger to the right of a person or group not to be denied equal protection of the laws guaranteed under Article 14, because the officer may give permission to use a place to an influential or a powerful person but deny it to others. So therefore there would be a clear violation of Article 14. Vesting of unregulated discretionary power in a licensing authority has always been considered as bad, even in different jurisdictions like the US. Rule 7 gives unguided discretion practically dependent upon the subjective whim of an authority to grant or refuse permission to hold a public meeting on public street, which cannot be held to be valid. And there is no mention in the rule of the reasons for which an application for license can be rejected. And the Rule 7 is so worded as to enable the officer to give or refuse permission to hold a public meeting without the necessity of giving reasons for either a refusal or a permission. So this rule was challenged before the Supreme Court in the year 1973, wherein a 5-judge bench of the Supreme Court decided on the validity of this rule, and the Supreme Court held that Rule 7 is invalid because it is capable of being used arbitrarily so as to discriminate unreasonably and unjustifiably, and thus to affect the exercise of rights conferred by Article 19(1)(a) and (b) without sufficient means of control over possible misuse of power. The rule of law our Constitution contemplates demands the existence of adequate means to check possibilities of misuse of every kind of power lodged in officials of the state. I would prefer to strike it down for contravening Article 14 of the Constitution, although if its repercussions on the right guaranteed by Article 19(1)(a) and (b) were also taken into account, it would be struck down as an unreasonable restriction on those rights as well. So this is how great constitutional lawyers have argued this matter and convinced the Supreme Court of the unguided power under Rule 7, which would violate the fundamental right guaranteed under the Constitution and would amount to an unreasonable restriction, therefore susceptible to challenge, and the validity of the said rule was declared to be unconstitutional by the Supreme Court. So what may appear to be a just and reasonable provision under the statute, it requires an in-depth analysis and proper knowledge of law in order to understand its repercussions and its effect on the violation of fundamental rights. And therefore, great lawyers are so much respected because they can take the matter to a different level and they can argue such important points which would not allow the state to violate the fundamental rights of the citizens.